Calloways moved into the farmhouse in early spring. It sat on 3 acres of overgrown land, miles from the nearest neighbor, with flaking white paint and crooked shutters that gave it a charm they called fixable. Erin loved the porch swing. James liked the silence. By the 3rd night, that silence broke. At first, they thought it was wind, a soft sound somewhere low and muffled, rising just after midnight. But when Erin sat up in bed and held her breath, it became clear. It wasn't wind, it was crying, faint, distant, and underneath them. They froze. James turned on the bedside lamp. The light made it feel less insane, but the crying didn't stop. It was a child's sob, soft, broken, repeating over and over just beneath the floorboards. They checked the crawl space the next morning. Nothing, just dirt and darkness. But that night it came again, same time, same place. James pressed his ear to the wooden floor. His breath caught. There was a voice now. It whispered, "Please help me." He jerked back, pale. Erin stared at him. "What did it say?" she asked. James didn't answer. He couldn't. The next day, James didn't go to work. Neither did Erin. Sleep had been impossible. Every time they closed their eyes, they heard it. The sobbing, the soft voice begging from below. By noon, James grabbed a crowbar. "We need to see what's down there," he muttered, more to himself than to Erin. The bedroom floor creaked as he pried up the first board. Beneath it, just hard-packed dirt. But the underside of the wood made Erin recoil. Long, deep scratches, dozens of them, clustered like frantic claw marks. "Animal?" she asked. But she didn't believe that. Neither did James. He pulled up 2 more boards, more dirt, more scratches. Then something caught Erin's eye. Just beneath the surface of the soil, something pale. She reached down, fingers trembling, and brushed it clean. Letters, etched carefully, deliberately, into the dirt. Calloway. She froze. James stared. Their last name. Erin stood up fast. "Who the hell knew we were moving here?" James didn't respond. His eyes were locked on the floor, because new scratches were forming in the dirt. Right in front of them. They didn't sleep that night. Every creak in the house felt like footsteps above or below. The scratches had stopped, but the soil where Calloway was carved stayed disturbed, like something just beneath the surface had shifted. By morning, James was back in the bedroom with the crowbar, yanking up more floorboards in a frenzy. Erin helped, though her hands shook. After peeling back nearly half the floor, they found it, a square outline of wood embedded in the dirt. A hidden hatch, sealed shut with rusted hinges and iron nails. It took an hour to pry open. When they did, the smell hit them first. Dust, mold, and something faintly sour. James grabbed a flashlight and descended the short wooden ladder. Erin followed. The space was small, barely enough to stand in, brick walls on all sides. And the padding, old mattresses nailed across the walls, discolored and torn. A single cot sat in the middle. No sheets, no pillow, just a matted, moldy blanket. Beside it sat a stuffed rabbit, missing one eye. On the far wall, Erin found a photo nailed into the brick, curled edges, stained with age. 2 children, a boy and a girl. The girl's face had been scratched out violently. The boy was James, years younger, but undeniably him. James backed away, shaking his head. "I've never seen this place before." But Erin noticed something. He wasn't looking her in the eye. The silence between them grew heavier than the house itself. James claimed he didn't remember the room, the photo, or the girl beside him. But Erin could tell. Something behind his eyes had shifted. She spent the day in town, digging through public records at the library, property history, census logs, anything. The farmhouse had belonged to Walter Calloway, James's grandfather. That much she knew. But deeper in the archives, she found a newspaper clipping from 1989. Local girl missing, family silent on details. The address matched their farmhouse. The girl's name was Lena Calloway, age 7. Missing, presumed runaway. There were no follow-ups, no funeral, no photos in later records. She vanished. Erin's chest tightened. Lena was James's aunt, a girl he never mentioned. When she got home, James was sitting at the edge of the open hatch, staring into the darkness. "Did you know about her?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. He looked up, hollow. "I had dreams when I was a kid," he murmured. "I thought they were dreams." He pointed at the padded walls. "I used to hear crying, just like that." Erin stared at him. It wasn't just the house whispering. It was something James had buried long ago. And now it was rising back up. That night, the crying returned, but this time it wasn't faint. It was loud, broken, echoing through the house as if it were inside the walls themselves. James stood over the hatch, white-knuckled, staring into the black hole below. "She's angry," he whispered. Erin gripped his arm. "You don't even remember what happened." But James pulled away. "I do now." He descended without another word. Erin followed, heart pounding. The padded room was colder than before. The flashlight flickered. The cot was gone. The rabbit, too. Only the photo remained, except now the scratched-out girl's face had been revealed. Lena's eyes were wide, hollow, and her mouth was open in a scream. Erin turned to James, but he was staring at the wall. New words were being scratched into the brick, slowly by unseen hands. "I remember. Do you? Stay." Suddenly, the hatch slammed shut above them. Darkness swallowed everything. Erin screamed. James didn't move. Then a child's voice, clearer than ever before. "You left me here." Hands reached from the walls, small, gray, clawed, grabbing James's wrists. He didn't fight. He knelt down as if accepting punishment, whispered, "I'm sorry." The hands pulled him into the wall like water swallowing a stone. Gone. The crying stopped. Erin stood alone in the dark room. Then, a soft scratching. She turned. New words were being carved into the brick. "Erin Calloway." The voice giggled. "You're part of the family now.